everybody. Feel like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah. It's a nice, very nice box day for me. This is still the Kaiju King from my collection room in Cincinnati. I got my custom gigantic Godzilla 1968. About 18 inches in scale. Anybody that knows me knows this is my favorite suit. Like I said, I feel like Stone Cold. I feel like I should be drinking some beer, but I don't drink, so it's just crazy how awesome this thing is. It's a very, very good box day. Of course, this suit was used from 1968. Destroy All Monsters, 1969, Godzilla's Revenge, 1971, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, and 1972 was the final appearance for this suit in Godzilla vs. Gigan. I like all the movies this suit was in. To me, the first two were the weakest, I'm just being honest, in my opinion. Destroy All Monsters, yeah, it had all the monsters in it, but to me the fights were really weak. I actually enjoyed the city attacking, then the final battle against Ghidorah in that movie, to be honest. It was just a gang up on Ghidorah. It almost made you feel bad for Ghidorah, at least in my view, because it really wasn't a fight at all. It isn't the best of the... I like the last two movies a lot more than the first two that involved this 68 through 72 suit. Had Godzilla vs. Hedorah and Godzilla vs. Gigan are really, really entertaining. I love those two movies. I'd say the best fighting is in Godzilla vs. Gigan out of the four for this suit by far. It ain't even close. I know Godzilla vs. Gigan is ate up with stock footage and what so, but it's still the fight sequences that it has, the new sequences with this suit and with Anguirus and Ghidorah and Gigan, they're really good fight scenes. And then you also involve the Godzilla Tower, and it's just really, really, really good stuff, I think. But then, of course, Hedorah. That was the first movie when I was a kid that I thought Godzilla was going to lose. When I first seen it, I was like, that's what went through my mind. Godzilla's going to lose, you know. Just crazy to think, but when you're a kid, but that was what I was thinking. It was that bad. I think Hedorah really put that bad of a beating on him. And then, of course, Gigan's the first one to make him bleed. Drew blood from Godzilla, which was the first, and which was just really crazy when you're a little kid watching it. Like, it's just pretty crazy. And that's probably part of the reason why Gigan's my favorite adversary. I do love Gigan. He's been in, 3 movies so far, 2 Showa and 1 Final Wars Millennium in 2004. And I love Gigan, and I love Hedorah too. I feel like Hedorah deserved another film. But this suit is tied for my favorite suits with the 1975 Godzilla suit, the 73 through 75. So the last 2 suits of the Showa era are my favorites. I love them both dearly, because those movies in that range were the ones that I remember the most as a kid, honestly, was watching Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, all those, Godzilla versus, or A Terror of Mechagodzilla, all those movies that involved those 2 suits were the ones I watched the most. So in my childhood, those are the ones that harken back in my memory the most. So that's why I think I'm so attached to the 68 and the 75 suits. They're awesome. They're I know some of them call them superhero Godzilla or what have you. That's fine, but I still feel like it's just my favorite suits. It's no denying in my in my mind. But I know eventually X Plus might give us one of these, but I got with Mark Seng Yang about a gigantic 68 suit, and he said, yeah, sure. And I sent him a picture. I think it's from Destroy All Monsters, with he's kind of like in this pose. And he's got his left foot up on a rock, and his hands up like this. And that's the picture I sent him, and that's kind of what we went off of here. I might get another one down the road from him of the Destroy All Monsters when he's walking back on land from the ocean, like toward the beginning of the movie. I'd like to have that one too. But this one is the one I really like and went with. It's really nicely done sculpt. One hell of a box day, I can say. That's all I keep thinking. It's one hell of a box day today. I love this thing. Absolutely love it. I do hope X Plus gives us one of these in the future, because I would pick it up without a doubt. As far as this actual figure goes, its footprint is really nice, because Mark had the tail go back and curve around to his right, so his footprint on the shelf won't take up a lot of space, really, which is cool. I could probably fit him up in here anywhere if I scooted some of these guys a little bit. So it's really nice that his footprint isn't that big. As far as his tail goes, of course it goes down, touches, and then curves off to his right. It's nicely done with the single little row of back spikes, and then it becomes the 3 little rows here about halfway up his tail, and they're all small, and they send to bigger spikes and dorsal plates as they go up, of course. Nice, very sculpted tree bark skin on the tail as well. Very good, very nicely done. Of course, his dorsal plates, 3 rows, of course, 2 smaller rows on the outside, big row in the middle. Very nicely done. Nice texturing on the dorsal plates, even on the little ones and the bigger ones. Nice inner, darker, blackish gray. Nice texturing, just like in the suit. Of course, the outer tips of the dorsal plates are all a silverish gray color, and that is on the outer of the smaller plates as well. Nicely done. Black, dark black, grayish inner, or light black, grayish inner, and then outer silverish gray tips on the plates. Very cool. As far as the toenails, you got 3 toes on each foot, just like the suit. 4 fingers on each paw, like the suit. Toenails and fingernails are dark at the base, and then they go out to a lighter grayish color, bonish grayish color. Same with the fingernails, dark at the base, and then go out to a lighter grayish, bonish gray color. As far as his claws are nicely done on his hands, nicely sculpted. On his right hand here, of course, he always, the 68 always had his thumb finger or digit always like this on his hand, and Mark did that nicely. He was always like that in the movie. Seemed like he had his fingers in that position, and that's what he's got here on the sculpt on his right hand. It's pretty cool he did that. As far as the the 68 is probably the most slender of the Godzillas, in my opinion. I mean, you look at him, he's nice and slim, because that's the way the suit was. A lot slimmer than the previous suits in the Showa era, or any of the eras, really, in my opinion. But it's nicely done. Nice tree bark skin, nice charcoal gray coloring for the skin, all over, existing all over the body. The legs are nicely sculpted. The arms are nicely sculpted. Got some wrinkling here a little bit in the hind quarter there area on the back of the legs, some wrinkling type effects for the suit. Same here in the midsection. Looks like we got a little bit of definition for suit wrinkles and stuff. But the tree bark skin is prevalent in the chest and midsection area. Very nicely done. When Mark was working on this, when he was finishing it up, he told me it was probably the best he's done so far, and I have to agree that it's very, very definitioned. I was comparing it to my gigantic 84, and I think this sculpting of the skin, tree bark skin and stuff, is really, really good on this one. It's better than 84 in my opinion, as far as the sculpting goes. But it's nice sculpting of this, like I said, the tree bark skin all the way up to his head and everything, and his face and everything is really cool and nicely done. He's got the big high eyebrow ridge, which is significant, signifies the suit in my opinion. Nice little small dorsal plate row that goes up the back of his neck and all the way to the middle of his eyes. That is a characteristic of this suit as well, and that is prevalent on this sculpt. Nice texturing on his face, on either side of his nose, his cheek definition, nicely sculpted. His nose is very nicely done. Of course, I do love the signature high eyebrow ridge. That is a definition of the suit, in my opinion. His eyes are white with the black pupil with a little bit of green, light green around the outer of the black in his eyes. They look really good though. His teeth are all individually sculpted. Nice definition with the teeth, upper and lower jaw. The tongue is prevalent in the mouth and the bottom there, and it is sculpted in there, the bottom jaw. So it's all really nicely done. But the tree bark skin is very prevalent on the whole, and very defined on the whole figure, and it's really high grade from Mark on this one. I agree with him when he said this is probably the best sculpted Godzilla he's done yet. So I cannot argue with that fact. It's very nicely done sculpting by Mark on this figure. But it's a pleasure to have this thing in my collection, and I'm very proud to own this thing for sure. I will do some size comparisons next, and I will be right on to the first one right now. Alright everybody, I'm back. Got my gigantic custom 62 here with the X Plus Godzilla, gigantic series Godzilla 1962. You can see they're about the same height, really. Well, the 68's a smidge taller, maybe just a smidge, quarter inch maybe. But as you can see, this scales well with the 62. Of course, you don't have the crazy girth that the 62 has, but the 68 didn't have all that girth in the bottom like the 62 did. So to me, the 68 is the most slimmest of all the Godzilla suits. It just, if you watch it in the movies, it's way slimmer. He's just a slim, tall thing, and this sculpt portrays it very well. Alright, we'll go on to another size comparison right away. Alright, I'm back everybody. I've brought forth the X Plus Godzilla 2000, 99-2000 Sakai. Here with my custom Godzilla 68. This is clearly the smallest in the X Plus line of the gigantic series. It is way smaller than the rest, but it's still a very nicely done figure. As you can tell, of course, the 68 is quite much bigger than the 99-2000. But I also feel like this is a Sakai, and all the Sakais, all the 30 centimeter Sakais, they're all known for their smaller scale than the regular 30 centimeter figures. So I kind of feel like that's part of the reason why this is smaller too. So all right, we'll go on to another size comparison right away. All right, everybody. Here's my gigantic custom 68 with the rest of my brethren of the same suit. The X Plus Godzilla 30 centimeter 68. The custom Godzilla 71 from Mark Seng Yang. and the X Plus 25 centimeter Godzilla 71. So here's all my same suit of this suit. That's all the figures. I do have the D for real of the 71 upstairs, but I didn't bring him down. But I do have the D for real also. So I have 5 of this suit currently in my collection. And I do have one more custom commissioned from Mark of a 68. At least one, if not 2. I can't remember. Got my list upstairs. But I know one for sure. Maybe 2. But these look pretty good together. I'm hoping that people in X Plus have X Plus have these and can see the scale. That's why I picked the gigantic 62. A lot of people have that figure. So, and the gigantic 99 2000, because that thing's been those have been reissued, and so the 68 here. So I figure it helps get scaled to this guy. So. But they look good together. All right, I'll do one more final size comparison right now. All right, everybody, I'm back. I got some of my 75s. I got 2 more customs over here, 30 centimeter, but I ain't trying to shove them all up here. So I got my gigantic custom 75 Godzilla holding Mecha Godzilla's head. And then my 30 centimeter X Plus Godzilla 75. That is the Rick. It came with extra arms, and it would have been the same as this. In essence, it would have been holding Mecha Godzilla's head, had an interchangeable arm. But I have never ever even changed it out. I like the pose that this is in currently. So, but these two, this here represents my favorite suits of the whole Godzilla suit inventory. These 2 suits right here, it was my childhood. All the movies that fall in these 2 suits from 68 to 75 are the movies I remember the most prevalently as a kid, and prominently as a kid. These movies, they're the ones that I recall watching the most as a kid because they were on TV, and they're really awesome films, and I grew up loving them. And then of course I've watched them all countless times, but all these films were the ones that really got me into this stuff, into Godzilla. All right, I'll go on to some closing thoughts on this custom, and we'll do that right now. All right, everybody, I'm back. Final thoughts. This was an epic box day for me personally. A long time in the wait coming with this one. I haven't really had it commissioned that long, but Mark had some dealings going on, and issues with it, personal issues, and I was totally understanding about it, and he was kind of delayed on some stuff, working on some stuff, and I was fine with it. I'm just glad everything's better with him, and I hope it's going well, and it definitely is going well for me. My goodness, this thing's amazing. It's just mind-boggling. Videos and pictures and stuff doesn't do it justice. You got to see it in hand to really appreciate the darn thing. But it's really cool. Amazing job by Mark. I'm glad he's doing better and well now. And my next figure in the lineup is the gigantic Fire Godzilla, 2019 Legendary Godzilla, when he goes into his fire mode and destroys King Ghidorah. That is what is next on our list. He says he can do it and try to do it, and I'm hoping he can, because it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets done, but it will be in gigantic scale. And after that one, it is Nakajima sticking out of the suit. There's famous pictures on the internet of him sticking out. I think it's actually the 68 suit. He's sticking out of the back of it. That is a gigantic as well. That's the next one I'm getting. Those are the next 2 for sure that I've told him to go ahead and proceed with those 2. And then from there, I've got a Kong versus Ramarak sculpt. And then there's like 35 or 33 others after that that are coming from him. So I've got quite a bit on my list with him. But this one is truly amazing. It's just awesome figure. And it's my favorite freaking suit. What can I say? I mean, this jumps to the top of my list for this year of my personal collection figures of the year. It's going to be at the top of my list. It just is. It's just the way I am with this, but it's really nicely done figure. And I would highly recommend, if you want something like this, just contact Mark, and he will, Mark Seng Yang, and he will take care of you. I have no doubts about that. But I'm very glad to be the owner of this thing, and it's really good. He was not lying when he said that he thought that this was his best work to date on a Godzilla sculpt, and I agree. All right, I will bring the camera closer now to do a final close-up and close of my video. I want to thank everybody for their time and attention, and this is Phil the Kaiju King from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati, and I wish everyone a wonderful day.